Right, honey, look, listen, I'm not gonna be in tonight, I'm off out. Are you going to that furry convention again? What? No, that was just a phase. I don't know what you're talking about. Look, basically, I'm going to the football, and I'm gonna take our son with us as well, yeah? Alright, that's fine, just don't do anything stupid. Yes, Jose, are you having fun up there? Dad, please, put me down, I feel sick. Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days, and can confirm that it's not a wrestling belt. Listen, I might have to file for copyright on these guys. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Prince William likes getting pegged. Oh, fuck's sake.
A bit physically sick, to be honest.
One normal day of royals, that's all I ask. I've no idea if this is true, but the story seemed to break on Twitter and had 84-year-old Mavises across the country searching unspeakable things online. It means what? Our taxes are funding his vacuum-sealed slob thruster 500.
Sick, to be honest.
Government funded. Just take that in. I mean, I suppose he already does, but elsewhere for Prince William, and he had the job of handing out the Women's Euros 2022 trophy to the winners of the final at Wembley. This shape. I wonder if I could put this. And who were those winners? Ladies and gentlemen, it was England. European champions! England's women did what the men couldn't and won their European Championships final thanks to a 2-1 extra time victory over Germany. Ella Toone and Chloe Kelly made themselves heroes on the night to earn England our first major trophy since 1966. United's Ella Toone opened the scoring in the second half with an outrageous chip. Disgusting! True Geordie was loving life finding out the scorer's last name was Toone. But just 10 minutes later, and Germany pegged us back. No, William, not like that. We, as England fans, were heading to extra time in a final again.
I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit weird.
And tension was building in the stands as well as on the pitch. Now, I know what it looks like, she said, but I can actually get some subtitles for you here. You can't beef Jill Scott, for God's sake. She's got 161 caps. When the men won the World Cup in 1966, she was top scorer in the Women's Super League. She's a hero. Then, with just 10 minutes to go before inevitable penalties, a corner was floated in. It's in! Chloe Kelly! Just staggering! It's a joke, don't worry about it. There were limbs across the country, German players already knew the score, and football was officially on the way home. Honestly, mate, you wouldn't believe the traffic. It's taken me a year to get here. The Players Gate crash manager Serena Weigmann's post-match interview. Match winner Chloe Kelly was far too distracted during hers. And Harry Kane was even spotted in the stadium. He was kicked out of the celebrations after trying to get on stage with a trophy. Jack Grealish wanted to be involved in the women's side as well. Meanwhile, Gareth Southgate's already announced his squad for the World Cup. Jill Scott was definitely on the drinks at the trophy parade.
How do you feel? How's it going, yeah?
Yeah, you know what, boss? I'm not bad, actually. And there was a great turnout to watch the parade as well, reflected by the statistic that the top 3 attended games of 2022 globally have all been women's matches. Whether you like it or not, the stats don't lie. People do care about the women's game. In 1966, it was illegal for women to even play football professionally. Now they won the first major tournament since that very year. We should all be extremely proud of the lasses for their achievements. It's a massive inspiration to any young girls who are wanting to get into football themselves, and it truly is amazing what a squad can do when there's no Tottenham representation. Now, in a game just as important and definitely not just for a plate, Liverpool landed the first blow of the season to Manchester City, beating them 3-1 in the Community Shield. A Community Shield held at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. You can't just go on tour with it. We can't just have the 2023 edition being held at Turf Moor. 3 trophies in a year, and what? Security weren't too welcome welcoming of Jurgen Klopp turning up for Sir Alex Ferguson's treble winners club.
Get out! Get out!
Here we have Liverpool fans trying to explain why this is actually a major trophy.
Sometimes he drops back a little bit so Mount and Havertz can play in the 8.
Who am I kidding, fam? This thing's in a dishwasher by now. It was a tale of two strikers here as well, as both Darwin Núñez and Erling Haaland made their competitive debuts. Haaland will have been fancying his chances seeing Adrian in goal, but reality was very different. £60 million for the Norwegian Nias. I've seen enough, mate. Get him out on loan. Send him back to the software company he came from. He's not a supercomputer at all, because this is his state when he's not playing against Darmstadt away. Phil Foden wasn't too impressed from the bench seeing this Erling Haaland disaster class.
There are some foreigners that are coming over and taking our jobs, yeah, and not even working. And they're working.
They take our jobs if they're not working.
Because they do it. They do it. Simple as that.
Next to him was Pep Guardiola looking for Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling to bring on. He's already on his way to spend another £368 million on fullbacks by Friday. Meanwhile, after scoring from 0.7 yards out, Darwin Núñez is the greatest to ever do it.
He's the best football player in the world. But I'm being serious.
Though taking your shirt off in the Community Shield seems a little bit excessive. The fans in the stadium don't even care, lad. But one who certainly did was this guy who has a Jurgen Klopp tattoo on his leg and even got it signed by the man himself at full time. I think it was a good performance overall from Liverpool and it's definitely given me some confidence going into the season. But I don't think this will be the usual for Haaland. I think he will stretch his legs soon. Meanwhile, it's been a big week if you're a fan of Wags, as the completion of the Wagatha Christie trial took place. This after Rebecca Vardy, wife of Jamie, had been caught out selling fake stories about Colleen Rooney to newspapers. She ended up losing her libel case to Colleen this week. The legal document gets straight to the point on this one. All she had to do was add a couple of 21-year-olds on Snapchat and she'd have seen them lips in Wayne in prison. But no, now Jamie Vardy's depressed outside the courtroom. And I'm not surprised. They've been hit with a huge payout. And for what? They can't even afford an Uber XL back home. The Oyster card's declined on the tube. Jamie's back at Fleetwood Town working a second job. I'm sure when they look back they'll realise it wasn't a good idea to spend £3.8 million on Instagram stories.
Should we have spent so heavily in the past? Probably not. But we lived the dream.
Because they're in the mud, Jamie's going to have to come up with a contingency plan to earn all their money back.
I mean, I was getting up in the morning betting on, you know, off the top of my head, Lithuanian under-20 basketball matches.
He's even going to have to sink to the level of drinking Londis' own energy drinks. I mean, he did that anyway, let's be totally honest. Back to pre-season, and Arsenal continued their impressive run with a 6-0 victory over Sevilla at the Emirates. All of this pre-season just to concede 2 to Jordan Ayew on the opening match day. Honestly though, this has been an impressive pre-season under Mikel Arteta for the Gunners. I am seriously wondering though what KSI has put in those bottles of Prime, because it is not knowledge, strength and integrity. I'm thinking more anabolic steroids.
The secret ingredient is crime.
Here we have Logan Paul at Customs with 8 kilograms of Class A's to put in the bottles. But I for one hope this link-up continues. I want to see Granit Xhaka on Arsenal side men Tinder. Look, I 2-foot people a lot, so I'm used to going in hard if you know what I'm saying. The Cristiano Ronaldo saga is rumbling on at United. He returned to the squad for the first time since he intended upon leaving the club this week. And he posted on Instagram ahead of the match saying that on Sunday, the King played. Yeah, I won't lie lads, he got a 5.9 rating. In fact, he was actually substituted off for Amad Diallo, who then scored minutes later. So he's right. The King did play. And look, it's like he's lacking all confidence. He didn't even want the ball from Joe Garner here. This is like when you're on player mode on FIFA and you've got an objective to get 100% pass completion. The problem is, no club wants him at the moment. Here he is finding out he's been rejected for a trial for the Sidemen charity match.
What's the point? What's the point? Because you just get slapped in the face. I'm tired of it, Robbie, man. It's hurting me.
At least he can take comfort when he wins Player of the Month in the Essex Combined Counties Northwest Division 1 next season. Either that or he's going to have to just accept that he's going to play in the Europa League. Eric Ten Hag's going to have to try and convince him to play away against Constantinople Rovers. And I don't think Ron's going to take it well.
You can call me Baldy or like. Don't bother me.
I didn't call you Baldy.
Villarreal manager Unai Emery was asked for a favour by a fan, and he wasn't having any of it at all.
Hello, can you say yes, Unai Emery? Say good evening.
Look, listen, the fan asked him to say good evening, and I respect his response. If fans are going to give it, they need to be able to take it as well. Will, for God's sake, not now. One Everton fan by the name of Paul Stratton scored for his beloved club in a friendly against Dynamo Kiev this week. He was given the opportunity because he's been delivering goods to Ukraine during their war with Russia, and so both clubs mutually agreed he'd be able to come on during the game, take a penalty, and score it, which is wholesome stuff. Big ups, Paul, you're a hero, lad. At the other end of Merseyside, and Liverpool's club doctor has announced that he is leaving the club, and let's be real, it's probably down to stress. The guy's had to deal with Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain for the last 3 years. In Spain, there's the news that Barcelona have sold a further 24.5% of Barca studios to continue finding financial loopholes. I mean, this is just getting out of control at this stage. Frenkie de Jong's going to be in for a shock when he realises he's 60% owned by Amazon. Chelsea are in for Spanish and Brighton fullback Marc Cucurella after his talks with Manchester City broke down, which inevitably means he's joining Barcelona. Domino's Pizza even came out and tweeted that they've delivered around 852,609 pizzas since Chelsea last delivered a successful transfer announcement, and it is a shithousery award freshly baked for our pizza mates. One man Chelsea have actually signed is Kalidou Koulibaly, and he called John Terry asking for permission to wear his iconic number 26 as a centre-back. Listen, John Terry is hardly the sort of man to ask permission before taking something that's not his. In Wolverhampton, and a wild Adama Traore was spotted shopping, bold of him to only use a basket when he eats the surface area of Botswana daily. And he's in the alcohol aisle as well, which must mean he's upset at not going back to Barcelona, or upset that he didn't get paid by Barcelona. I don't know, it's one of the two. Atletico Madrid goalkeeper Jan Oblak picked up a yellow card for being assaulted by Scott McTominay this week. I mean, what's the crime? He's headbutted his elbow or something. Oh, God, man. Yeah, I'm afraid that's a red card, son. Oh, God, thank you, because that was a terrible challenge. Yeah, for you. Elsewhere in Spain, and Real Betis are getting ready for a new season with a rigorous pre-season regime. Yeah, nah, never mind. A Spanish team that loves TikTok, Robert Lewandowski's really joined the wrong La Liga club. In France, and PSG won a Trophy de Champion with a 4-0 victory over Nantes to claim the first French silverware of the season. It's a 2-team tournament, but if Pochettino was still in charge, they would have come third. But it seems like it's a competition with a low budget, because they didn't even have anyone to hand out the medals, so Brazilian forward Neymar chose to do it himself. I mean, let's be real, he was hired by club CEO Kylian Mbappe to do it. Right, weird request, but listen to this. I know this league's sponsored by Uber Eats, but it doesn't mean the players have to pick up medals like they're pick and mix. Meanwhile, one young PSG fan made a desperate attempt to get a picture with Leonel Messi, and after almost being dragged away by security, managed to get the snap that he wanted. In Italy, and there's wholesome scenes as Juventus players travelled over to the US to watch Giorgio Chiellini play for LAFC. I'm sure he'll be extremely happy when he clocks them in the crowd. Milan played Marseille in a friendly and won 2-0, with a big impact off the bench was from 19-year-old Isaac Toure, who came on, then got a yellow card 2 minutes later, and then a second yellow a further minute afterwards. At Roma, and Leonardo Spinazzola seems to be struggling in training. Jose's such a good defensive coach that even the training kit knows how to defend. At Napoli, a new signing, Kim Min-jae's initiation is truly incredible. Meanwhile, Serie B side Venezia are not happy with their new division's copyright rules, as apparently they need to wait 8 days to post their own highlights. How can they not post it immediately? They played the game. They were there, lads. Over in Germany, and Bayern Munich won the German Super Cup for an 11th straight time in a classic of a match, an 8-goal thriller ending 5-3 against RB Leipzig. The best thing though in this game was Leipzig midfielder Dani Olmo dribbling the ball over to the touchline, then leaving it on the line so that when a Bayern Munich player picked it up thinking that it had gone out for a throw-in, Dani Olmo and Leipzig in fact won themselves a free kick for handball. Meanwhile, 1860 Munich fans let off flares against Borussia Dortmund to the point at which you couldn't see what was going on. Play me in, I'm open. Bro, you're literally off the pitch. In the first round of the DFB Pokal, and Paderborn beat Wernigerode 10-0. Unfortunately, not a two-legged affair, so they can't come back from that one. But now it is time for your goals of the week, and this time around, I got 4 for you. We start off in England England, where new signing Joe Aribo welcomed himself to the Southampton faithful by scoring a mazy slalom of a solo goal. Move over to Norway, and for Ålesunds, Christopher Odemarksbakken gave us our customary halfway line goal of the week. In El Salvador, and for San Salvador FC, Juan Sanchez provided probably the best bit of improvisation you're gonna see, until potentially this next goal coming from Bolivia, which might genuinely be a Puskas award contender. Unfortunately, I don't know who scored it. If you do, then let me know. But the flick up and acrobatics here are sensational. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your final Love Island update. I know you guys were waiting for the end of this segment. Michael Owen's daughter did not win the show, and he was quite evidently devastated about it. And in the end, Gemma, much like her father, was only able to manage a disappointing season in Spain. Over at Ajax, and their big money transfer of the window so far has been signing Calvin Bassey from Rangers. Young defender has high hopes after impressing in the Scottish Premier League, and then got himself red carded for a rash challenge on his debut. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Ele tá fora da corrente andando em si, não quer nem olhar o lance.
Vamos ver aqui o Kaique Oliveira. Ele costuma parar próximo da bola na hora da cobrança. Aí, ó. Esse é o estilo do Kaique. Ele vai andando, andando, andando. Só falta matar a turma do coração. Vamos ver o Kaique. Pra bola. Disparou, é gol. Não, pra fora.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home, and the Football League returned this week. Doncaster Rovers faced off against Bradford, and Lee Tomlin picked up probably the stupidest red card in footballing history, kicking a ball away and getting a yellow card for that, then going down for simulation just seconds later. Now, traffic's a pretty big problem from time to time in the UK, especially on the motorway, and so people are pretty prepared for it now. So much so, they bring table footballs out when it gets a little bit too hectic on the M1. At Leyton Orient, and someone's getting a little bit peckish, ordering via Deliveroo a pizza to the ground. In Venezuela, we've got a targeted, beautiful challenge coming in from a dog. I love that the guy who's gone down was really ready to appeal for a yellow card there. This canine's better than 50% of United centre-backs. At Vélez Sarsfield now, and their goalkeeper over in Argentina has had an absolute mare here. Was the ball made out of molten lava or something? Why can he not touch it? And it's clearly riled up their manager, who was then sent off for tackling an opposition player and stopping a counter-attack. In a European qualifying match, and Astana of Kazakhstan faced off against Rakov from Poland. Astana started some beef on Twitter with their opposition, saying they'd never seen them play in the Champions League. Well, Rakov weren't going to let them live that one down when they beat them 6-0 on aggregate. It's a shithousery award for the Polish side. In Brazil, and Hulk playing for Atlético Mineiro genuinely needs to be stopped.
Vai lá o Hulk, bateu o pé esquerdo!
If this hits anyone in the wall, they're finished. They should have been positioned behind a goal for their own safety. Fortaleza lost to Fluminense this week, but their fans didn't care as they started a party during the game somewhere in the stadium. Elsewhere in Brazil, and in the lower reaches, we've got this cameraman literally missing a goal here. Did the guy fall asleep on his lens or something? That wouldn't be a worry though for him over in Mexico, as we have a game here ending, I think, in the second division with 0 shots at all. Hey, yo, does anyone have a number for this guy? Because obviously I'm looking for a better one myself. In Ecuador, and Independiente del Valle make their second appearance in 2 weeks with an outrageous goalkeeping mishap instead of a phenomenal goal. Talking of goalkeepers getting a little bit distracted, this one over at Internacional's looking a little bit suspect. At Querétaro, and Milton Jimenez had a very busy day, scoring both goals for his own side and then an own goal for Querétaro too. Meanwhile, back in Brazil, and the award for worst own goal of the week goes to Londrina.
Para equipes que pensam em acesso.
Lá dentro!
Now though, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, and the introduction of VAR to the Romanian world of football has been brilliant in terms of content, I feel, over the last couple of years. Who needs VAR to take a look at refereeing decisions? Let's just use it to look at the referee instead. Yeah, that's me. At Racing Club in Argentina, and Matias Rojas scored an incredible free kick from just outside the area, then celebrated with this. In the US and MLS side, San Jose Earthquakes provided probably the best goal line clearance in FTW history. Indonesian side Persita Tangerang posted an interesting TikTok this week of one of their players dancing with a Shrek filter.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Madre mía, menuda. La que le ha metido. Madre mía, eso roja, hermano.
In Bolivia, and this goalkeeper is far too comfortable on the ball, and maybe in future he'll get rid of it a little bit quicker. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football, and this time around, I'm unfortunately not sure where on earth this has come from. But when you come on as a substitute, you really want to impress quickly, straight off the bat.
É Hulk que vai entrar, é? Você quer sendo entrar, porra? Bora, Hulk!
Or you can put yourself in a position where you need to get stretchered off immediately. That also works. On to the weird stuff though now. First of all, over in Peru, and there was a weird coincidence in league games there, as on the 26th of July in a game between Alianza Lima and Alianza Atletico, into the second half, and there was a blackout at the stadium. All of the floodlights went off. They tried to restart the game, but had to postpone it in the end because it couldn't be fixed. Then a day later, at a game between Cesar Vallejo and Universitario de Deportes at a different stadium, they had a blackout there as well. All electricity in Peru probably needs fixing. Over at St. Albans City, and they've announced a new sponsorship deal to change the name of their stadium to the Mozzarella Fellas Stadium at Clarence Park. To be honest, a cheesy name if you ask me. At the Commonwealth Games, and there's some interesting inspiration in India's cyclist squad, with one of the team having the first name Ronaldo and another having the first name David Beckham. And finally, over in Indonesia once again, it's got some great representation in this series recently. An Indonesian Liga 1 game was being broadcasted on national TV, and with a score at 1-1 with 10 minutes to go, the camera panned to the crowd, where we can see a lovely young couple here. But not everything is as it seems, because our friend Persic here took to Facebook to rant to his friends, suggesting that the woman in this picture was actually his girlfriend, and that she had in fact been caught cheating in 4K on national TV. So moral of the story here, chaps, if you're gonna cheat, don't go to football matches. No, that's not really the moral. That though is gonna wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.